Hello and welcome to Build Breakdown. My name's Priskys and today we're clearing house because this storage situation has gotten pretty out of hand. So today we're building our storage bunker. I've been looking forward to this build since I first started this world. Now we have a preliminary version of it here under where our first base used to be. But I want this build to be on this island here in the middle of all of our other builds going on. I'm going to have to move the mud farm again, but while I do that, let me show you the inspiration for this build. This build is going to be based off a conceptual building by Etienne Louis Bolle. I think that's how it's pronounced. It's his building Cenotaph for Newton. Bolle designed this museum in 1784 with the idea that this would be a large, empty dome, and it would have a bunch of tiny holes in the ceiling, just pinpointed all over to look like the night sky. Now, the main part of this build is going to be based off of that, but instead of having a bunch of small holes in the ceiling to simulate the stars, I'm going to use this. This is the stars block by Blockus Mod. It's made pretty easy just using some ender pearls and chorus fruit, but it makes such a beautiful little block, and I think it's going to pair pretty well with black concrete. So it's time to go gather some materials and get to work. It's done! I got a big ol' sphere here. Ortho camera? Perspective? You can see it's an actual black sphere. I also went and added a bunch of glass layers into this to make that fog effect down there in the middle. But not gonna lie, I don't like this. I spent all this time going ahead and building this thing that I've always really wanted to build. And now that I've built it, I don't like it. I think I have an idea on how to fix this, though. I'm going to bring the glass layer up a couple more and put some openings into the sides, just on those flat parts in the middle. So let me go ahead and add in some more glass layers, and we'll get a side opened and get the storage system actually ready to go. So I've tried a few different things out, and I'm gonna be honest, it is not coming together the way that I want it to. Like the actual storage area down here, it's not working. So instead of repeatedly hitting my head against a brick wall, I decided to go ahead and switch over to working on another part of this. Right up here is going to be our top area. We're going to have sort of a structure right in here, and then all around it, like on this entire island here, I want to do a little bit of terraforming, do a lot of plant work and such, and then have like a garden and a path going all through it. But first, let's get the structure in. I started off by building a gazebo. I wanted it to be Greek-esque sort of architecture to tie into the Roman building with the sheep farm behind it. I then terraformed the entire island and made a bunch of rocky shores all over the place, and then I added a few rocks around and put paths going throughout the island. I also tried my hand at making another oak tree. This one was much smaller scale than I've done before, but I figured out how to flush out the branches using a bunch of fences and gates. Back on the storage area inside, I didn't have enough space in there, so I tore down the top part of the sphere, built up the flat sides a bit, and then rebuilt the top of it a few blocks up. And ta-da! Our whole storage system's complete. Starting over here, this is our warp plate. I've got in my backpack here a connecting warp plate, so anytime I want to just quickly get down here and grab some supplies, I can. This is Tippy, and this is Chester. They both watch out for this whole area. We've got all of our storage here. Most of the stuff is labeled, but anything that's not typically has a block underneath it. We've got a lot of things that are just stacks upon stacks of stuff. Mostly in stone, prismarine, and of course, a whole lot of obsidian. All of this is obsidian. I've got way too much obsidian. But if you want to find out why, come check out my live streams over on Twitch on Tuesday nights. Until then, I can't tell you what's going on there. Back out here in the circle area. Oh, this turned out so amazing. I love the way the ingots and the glass just float through the sky like this. It sort of looks like stars, and even though it's so dark that you can't quite see the stars above, you can at least see it a little bit on the sides here. But we've got our furnace set up over here. I'm leaving these other two arches open for potential farm use, maybe expansion if I need to. Down here in the middle, we have a redstone water elevator. Now, this is actually Mumbo Jumbo's design, link in the description below, but I love how efficient it is. So you just pop out into this actual dome area. We go down the path, you can see we've got the entire island done. I have a mod that makes the torch flowers glow, so that's our main light source throughout the island. So I interspersed it with a whole bunch of dandelions and orange tulips to really draw in and enhance that color. And I think it looks really good. It just brings so much color and life into this whole build. Next to the building, we've got a pond. I was considering putting like fish or frogs in here at some point, but they can just easily escape into the actual lake here. Over here, we've got like this little grapple zen garden going on. This is more to serve as a landing zone whenever we come flying in. And then off this way, we've got this little bamboo grove. It's supposed to lead sort of into a secret entrance here, but that's actually for a future farm idea that I'm gonna do. So I will show that off whenever I build that farm. Now back up the path here, you can see that's our oak tree there. I'm so happy with how well that oak tree turned out. It ended up being phenomenal. It was my first time playing around with like the fence gates and the trapdoors and slabs for tree branches, and it worked out so well. I learned that from one of Grian's videos whenever they were building Hermitcraft Season 10, the Wart Shop, I think it was. Anyway, up here, on top of this hill, we've got a little, it's not quite a gazebo, I guess. It's supposed to look like one of those wisteria trellises that you see in Japanese gardens. But it was a little hard to get it to actually look just right. And there we go. That is the entire build. I'm pretty satisfied with how well this turned out. It ended up being a lot more daunting than I was expecting, but this is something that I've been wanting to build for a very long time. So I'm glad that I finally got to build this. So that's going to do it for us today. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. And thanks for watching. That was a bit close to my face, wasn't it? Woo! Okay, bye.